Right, there's no mystery today as our sponsor, 3 Points Travel, specialise in mystery football tours across Europe. Each package includes 3 Points matchday tickets, return flights and weekend accommodation. Plus, each of you will receive personalised city and club guides and team merch.
Yeah, that's good. And they have destinations ranging from Como to Copenhagen.
Wow.
Madrid to Munich, Vienna to Valencia, and you'll unbox your mystery team before your departure.
That's sick.
That is decent.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, 3 Points Travel.
Beautiful.
This episode is sponsored by Torn Sports, and they are calling all pro footballers as this one specifically for you. Torn Sports have just dropped their brand new bespoke grip socks, and trust me, these are next level. You can customise everything from your sock heights to initials, even your club logo. And if you're not a fan of grip socks, no problem, they'll remove the grips for you. It's your sock and your style. These are elite quality, and right now they're exclusive just for pros. Comment below if you want in, or give us a message on our socials. The link is in the description. Welcome back to Ball Talk with me, Lewis Bryon, and today I'm joined as usual by striker for St Albans, Ken Charles. Ken, today, obviously, at the time this comes out, it should be Real Madrid versus Arsenal, the second leg. So we're going to do an Arsenal-Real Madrid combined 11. Okay, we are both Arsenal fans, aren't we? So we'll try not to be too biased. But we'll base it off this season. Okay. And yeah, we'll go from there. We'll do the keeper, then the back four, midfield three.
Yeah.
Midfield three, then front three.
Cool.
GK, who have you got?
It has to be Courtois, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, I'm going Courtois.
Really?
Yeah.
What, this season?
I mean, Courtois hasn't fallen off, has he?
He's not
I know he's had his injuries and stuff, but if you had to pick one keeper out of him and David Raya. David Raya is like
David Raya has been so good, man. He's been so good.
He's been probably the best in the Premier League this season, and you know he's as good as it gets. But I'd go as far as to say Courtois is the best in the world, isn't he? So
really, best in the world.
I think if you're a forward, he's probably the one you fear most as a keeper.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think like as a forward, I think him and Raya, I'd both be like, I'd be like they're both equally as good stopping me scoring.
Yeah.
But I think Raya's better everywhere else.
I'd agree.
Like he's more intense distribution. I just feel like he's a bit better. I think this season.
I'd argue Raya's better in everything else.
Yeah.
I'd just say Courtois is probably better at him at stopping goals going in.
Really?
I'd say, yeah.
Wow, so you've gone
a big save. So I'd go Courtois.
I've gone Raya. I'm not going to change my team. I've gone Raya.
No, that's fine.
Cheers. Okay. Oh, I don't know, man. Okay, yeah, Raya. Back four. Back four, right?
Yeah.
Right back. I've gone Timber. Just off this season, Ben White's not played much.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, who would he be? He'd be up against Carvajal. I think, who was it that played last week? Who did we just say? Valverde, yeah, played against the first leg. I don't think they've got anything on Timber.
I'm happy to go Timber over that. Yeah. Timber having a very, very solid season.
Yeah. Do you think there's any shouts? Like if we're going all time, then maybe you put Carvajal.
All time, then obviously you'd have to put Carvajal just because of all the accolades.
Yeah.
But if we're just going this season, then Timber's having a very good season for Arsenal on an individual note. He's
not put much like a foot wrong, really, is
he? He's been very good.
Yeah.
One of Arsenal's best players this season. So,
okay, centre halves. Who have you gone for?
I'm going.
So let's say them first. So we've got obviously Saliba, Gabriel, and then the two you'd say Rudiger and Asensio, young player.
Yeah.
Do they have anyone else? Does Alaba sometimes play there?
Alaba plays.
He's more left back.
Alaba does play centre half for them a lot of the time.
So we've got sort of 5 to go from. If you wanted to put Alaba in there as well.
Yeah, I'd go very harsh on Gabriel, but I'd go Saliba and Rudiger.
Yeah.
You know, Gabriel's been immense this season, arguably better than Saliba.
That's what I mean, but
like
this is on this season.
Yeah. But I'm just like, Rudiger, the experience that goes with it. He's not too different from Gabriel in terms of style, which is why I'd go Saliba next to him, because he's kind of very a contrast. Rudiger's, you know, your aggressive centre-back, likes to have a fight with strikers and stuff. So is Gabriel. But just off experience, I'd give Rudiger.
It's tough, you know.
It's tough, and look, these guys play for Real Madrid. You can't ignore that sometimes when it's really tight. So
again, I'm going to go back to if it was like all time.
If it was all time,
I'd go Rudiger. I'd go Rudiger. But this season, I'm going Saliba and Gabriel.
So your team just Arsenal.
No, we'll get. You'll see as we get further down. But like you said, Rudiger and Gabriel are so similar. And based off this season, I think Gabriel's looked more polished in terms. I think like they've both got that aggressive sort of front foot style of defending. But Gabriel's seemed a bit more composed. He's chipped in with a lot of goals. I don't know how many goals Rudiger's got this year, but
probably not as much.
Not as much as Gabriel. No. But it does sound like I'm being a bit biased towards Arsenal.
Fair enough.
So you're going...
I'd go, Rudiger and Saliba.
Okay, I'm going the two Arsenal lads.
Okay.
Left back, interesting. Obviously, Alaba for Real Madrid. Mendy. Arsenal have got about 5. Obviously got Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, who's played there. Timber we've already put in. Zinchenko's not getting a shout. So it's interesting. It's based off this season.
Who are you going off?
I'm going Alaba. I think Lewis Skelly, form-wise, like if you're taking match for match right now, he could be up there.
Yeah.
But he come into it too late. He's not played nowhere near as many games.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in the sense that, like form-wise, Lewis Skelly's as good as anyone in the world right now as a left back. But he has come into it very recently, pretty much just this year. It'd be a big statement to be putting him over someone like Alaba.
Yeah.
So,
and I suppose although it's this season, you do still like how good they have been does come into account in terms of like how reliable you'd put them into a match because of their experience.
Yes, you have to take that into account. That's a big thing. Like, not to jinx anything tonight or anything, but like Lewis Skelly, like this is still like early days in his career, and these are huge games, and every time he's come off the back of it, you kind of go and say he's so good. He's risen to the occasion and done well. But it's still like someone like Alaba, you kind of expect him in a game like tonight to pretty much turn up and give you at least a 7 out of 10. So
yeah, who would you say is more important for their club?
Lewis Skelly would be more important for Arsenal than Alaba is for Real Madrid.
Why? What's the reason?
Just the way we play at the minute. He was a big part of how we beat them in the first leg. How he gets rolling inside on the ball. It was getting out for him a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Alaba is important to Real Madrid, don't get me wrong, but I just think they've got...
He doesn't get involved as much.
Yeah,
probably.
And they've probably got 5 or 6 players more important to them than him.
Yeah,
so,
fair enough. Okay, we'll go midfield 3 now.
Okay.
Now, what would you play with the pool of midfielders from both clubs? Would you have like 2 sitters or 110, or like sort of the Arsenal one where it's one sitter and 2 8s?
Probably 1 sitter and 2 8s just because of their talent on board.
So we've got Modric for the 1 sitter. You could also got Partey, maybe Rice if you want to chuck him in there. And who's their other centre mid they got sent off? Camavinga. Kroos. I don't know if Kroos is he injured.
He's retired, mate.
Oh, he's retired?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I thought he retired from international.
Nah, he's not playing anymore.
No way.
Yeah,
okay, wow. Yeah. I thought he's just been injured for time. I thought he retired from international. Anyway,
he's chilling.
That's getting cut. Right. Who you going for your sitter then? Because there was 2 different options. It's like, do you?
I know what you're thinking.
Like, do you put a midfield 3 that you're just going player for player, Real Madrid, Arsenal, whoever plays in that position, the better one, or you go for a midfield 3 that you think can actually combine and play well in a game? There's like 2 different ways to do it.
Yeah. I think I'd go...
I'm going to go for a 3 that I think would actually play well together.
Okay. I'll do the same. I'd go... This is where I bought credit in the bank from my back 4 not being so Arsenal heavy. I'd go Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham.
Okay. So
Which is basically Arsenal system with Bellingham instead of Odegaard.
I can back that, but I don't feel like in that midfield 3, you haven't got like an Odegaard who's like a really creative.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Creative, like gets things going at the final third. Whereas Bellingham, he can do that, but he's more of the product.
I know, but he has to be in there. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't go.
But you could
as good as Odegaard is.
Yeah.
I couldn't say them two and then put Odegaard and not Bellingham in that midfield three. That's what I'm thinking.
And
now, so the other option is like what? Get Partey out.
You could have put Modric over Partey.
I wouldn't put him currently.
Really?
All time, obviously, but currently in terms of that 6 role.
If they were playing a game tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, look what happened in the first leg.
It's like mad to say, isn't it? Like Partey over Modric.
Ran it, bro. Like,
yeah.
Partey's PR is just on the floor because it's not that mad to say if you know football.
Yeah.
Like, and know what's happening.
He just gets mad disrespected.
He just gets like completely disrespected. But everyone that knows football.
But why? Because he looks slow sometimes. I think that's it. Same with Jorginho. Where if you don't turn sharply and you can get beat and look silly sometimes just because of lack of pace, maybe. I think like online people just go at him and say, right, like it's a joke.
I think the allegations don't help him.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think they help him. But
do you think that comes into account when people talk about his football ability?
I feel like it because the respect on him 2 seasons ago was a lot higher.
Yeah.
Like when, put it this way, Arsenal fans really was like pushing him. I remember 2 seasons ago, before we got Rice, he was in debates with, everyone was saying Casemiro, Partey, Rodri. Like Arsenal fans are kind of going back and forth in that debate. Since like we've signed Rice and then since all of that came in, there's been a lot like less of people loving Partey.
Yeah,
I think that comes into it because when he's fit, like he has been this season, he's so important to how
he's so good.
So
but
good.
Noah would not have him in. He's not here today, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Noah didn't want to give him credit for his performance last week. Look, there's always unconscious bias, but I think if you know football and watch how he plays, he's so important to how Arsenal play.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, like you're saying, I think the people who will give him the most respect will be his peers, for other footballers.
You listen to his peers talk about him, then you know that okay, this is a player.
Yeah.
So,
I've gone with.
What are you going?
See, I don't like putting Rice out of the 8 because I think he's best there, but I went with Rice as the 6 just to fit in Odegaard and Bellingham. So I've gone Rice, Odegaard, Bellingham. I don't
dislike that.
The only other option I'd do would be I had Modric, Rice, Bellingham. But I just think, will Rice and Bellingham, like, I don't know if there's enough of, like, not creativity, but, like, someone demanding and controlling the game further up.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm going to go Rice holding.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, for me, the other shout was getting Camavinga in there ahead of Partey.
Yeah, but he got red carded.
I mean, that's the thing. If you asked me before last game, I'd probably say that. But you look at the way that game went, he struggled and Partey ran the show. So
yeah, and you've got in your one, you've got Bellingham over Odegaard.
Yeah.
Any debate there? Do you think there's any consideration?
I mean, if we're going off this season, this is not the season for Odegaard to have much acclaim to that. If we're going previous seasons, like Odegaard would be right in the conversation. I don't think he's having his best season. That doesn't mean I still think he's a top player in Arsenal.
Injury didn't help.
Yeah, he's going to be a big part of Arsenal's, next couple of seasons. But currently, I mean, I think Bellingham has to be in there.
Do you think Bellingham gets into any starting 11 in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
think Odegaard does?
99%.
Maybe
I'd
just Real Madrid.
Yeah. I think he might not get into Real Madrid's team because of Bellingham.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other players, but like 99.9% of teams Odegaard would get into as well. But I think Bellingham literally gets into every team.
Yeah, he has to really.
Yeah.
The one thing I was thinking actually after the game last week when Rice obviously scored 2 free kicks, I was thinking, does Rice get into every team? But one of the other teams I thought he wouldn't get, the manager wouldn't actually start him, is potentially Madrid. Like, does he get into Madrid's midfield?
They have a ridiculous
We've just put him in.
They have obviously Bellingham, they have Modric, they have Camavinga, they have Tchouaméni, who's currently not really playing.
He wouldn't be up against Bellingham, let's say.
He wouldn't be up against Bellingham. It'd be between him, Camavinga, and Modric.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably play.
You reckon?
I think he'd probably play, but it would be like, I think in that team it's kind of on form because of just how good the names are. If he dips a bit of form, easily Modric would play. If Modric kind of regresses, Rice plays.
Yeah. I think he's got to. In my head, if I was a manager, I'd put him into any starting 11 in the world. Rice.
I think he'd
potentially Odegaard as well.
I think he'd really suit Madrid actually, because they don't.
They are quite box to box.
I think.
Yeah.
At that, he'd suit them more than a Modric because he can cover the ground.
Yeah.
Like in transitions.
Like
both
Modric
ways.
used to.
Like Modric used
As a
to,
young
but
player, yeah.
obviously now it's different. So, yeah.
Interesting. Right, we'll go front three now, okay? Front three. Let's go right wing first. Now, who is it? It's
Rodrigo or Saka, basically.
Rodrigo or Saka.
I'm going Saka.
I'm going Saka, man. Like, I'd go Saka over any right wing in the world right now. I'd go him over Mo Salah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'd still go Salah.
Really?
Look what he's done for Liverpool.
Yeah,
this
but
season.
come on, look what Saka's doing.
I mean, the argument would be, what have we won?
Yeah, it's true. It's true, but
It's a big argument.
But I think if
just for Salah though, anyone
if Saka
else
went for Salah for Liverpool, they'd win the same things. I don't. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I don't disagree with that. But I mean, all round play, Saka's like the most complete right winger in the world.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Do you think there's any doubt with him and like for the wide majority of fans between him and Rodrigo?
I think anyone that would argue Rodrigo is just kind of getting clouded by the Real Madrid, Brazilian, everything. Like, Rodrigo's a top winger, don't get me wrong.
Versus Arsenal Academy. Like,
yes. Plus the fact that people don't like Arsenal, so they really try to not give people their flowers. Like, before the tie, obviously they asked Saka about like how he sees himself in comparison to the Madrid front three, and he just says he doesn't look at them as like better than him. And then like, because the fans were having the debate, and then we watched the leg and saw what happened. And it's almost, and bearing in mind he's at 60%. He's still nowhere.
You could tell, couldn't you?
You can tell he's nowhere near like his 100% what he was before he got injured. It took that for people to almost go, oh shit, Saka is actually as good as everyone says he is. But we've watched him for seasons now, so it's nothing new to us. I'd take him over Rodrigo,
100%,
like pretty confidently. And
people still did like say with the world class or not debate that he's not world class.
Yeah, well,
like how I think I don't really get that argument. Like, there's no leg to stand on for them people that saying Saka's not world class now.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time now. I think you'd have to say.
Like, we've just put him one person ahead of him. I mean, by my judgment,
that metric, that pretty much puts you as world class, doesn't it?
I don't think world class is just the best person in that position. There's multiple players for each position that are world class. No.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's definitely not the one person in that position. There's like, there's got to be a few per position that you'd consider as world class by definition.
Yeah. And Saka's one of them, definitely.
If we're saying there's only one really above him, then yeah, I'd 100% say he's got to be in that category.
Yeah. Okay, let's go left wing. So it's obviously Martinelli, Trossard, probably not in it.
Vinny Jr., no discussion.
Yeah. You're the biggest Vinny lover.
Not really.
You know you are. No, it's not
no, but I'm not
unjust, but
I don't think he's having a particularly good season.
Yeah.
But
by the way, I've gone Vinny Jr.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't think like. Obviously, Martinelli, since the injuries come back, he's getting into form, and it's positive to see. But I mean, it's not really.
It's not a debate.
It's not a debate.
Last week when we done our preview for the we done our review of the first leg, and obviously you weren't here. It was me and Noah. We were speaking about how Vinny didn't play great.
He was very bad, by the way.
Yeah,
like he was probably the worst player on the pitch in that game.
Yeah, he weren't good. But and I sort of brought up saying I don't get the hype around him. I think he's built a name now, and it's like he just gets put above everyone without even players like Saka without even a consideration.
Yeah, I was having a discussion about those kind of players. It's
like I'd pick Saka over Vinny.
They're very different. So you have to understand as well, the club you play for and the manager you play for kind of determines how you play. Vinny couldn't play like that for Arsenal. Arteta wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
The way he plays for Real Madrid is basically, because of how good he is, he can just try whatever the hell he wants on the pitch.
Usually with a lot of space.
With a lot of space. And then if it comes off, he looks absolutely world class. If he doesn't come off, he's Vinny Jr. No one can say nothing to him. Because he was trying to take people on from 40 yards away from goal. He was trying some diags. None of it was
outside
coming
of the
off.
boots, like.
And it's like, you couldn't do that for Arteta and Arsenal, because the way Arteta's tactics is possession, dominating the ball, no turnovers. Real Madrid's not really, like, Ancelotti lets them do what he wants to do.
Do you think that's to do with the standard, though, of La Liga versus Prem? Because you can get away with it more. If every week you're trying that and then you end up losing 2-3 games in a row, the manager's gonna pull the reins back.
You potentially, but I just think it's a completely different approach. Like, I think Arteta has obviously had Pep as his mentor.
Yeah.
He's similar in that approach of like almost having robotic players. And Saka's as good as it gets in terms of a player that you're sort of telling, like he does, his decision making is 9 out of 10 if you want that sort of approach. I think, but like, I don't think that's something that, for example, if Arsenal signed Vinny tomorrow, he'd just have to adjust. Like,
You reckon?
He'd have to. You can't just start trying outside the boot.
Do you reckon he could though?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a top player. Of course he can. Like, it's not the hardest thing to do in the world.
It's not.
To just understand that, look, the first 2/3 of the pitch, just keep the ball for us. Don't try anything fancy. Don't, like...
No, he could, of course, yeah.
And this is like where people debate where football's going. It does make it a bit more boring. Because Vinny's done that last week, but tonight, all of those come off and you say, wow, like that
Scored
was
3 goals
entertainment.
tonight.
Yeah, pure entertainment. So
it's like, where do you draw the line with that?
Yeah.
Because you could, if you just want entertainment, go watch a five-a-side tournament where they're just trying that all the time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's difficult knowing where to draw the line.
No, I do like, how Saka plays because it's entertaining because he scores and assists and stuff. But at the same time, it's not, it's reliable.
Yeah,
he
that's the word.
doesn't do anything that can kill you, basically. Because I would, as a Madrid fan or as a Ancelotti last week, I would have been so frustrated with Vinny because 9 out of 10 things he did was wrong. Like lost the ball, poor cross, poor shot. Like, so I've never seen Saka play like that. So if you want to have that debate, Saka will never put in a performance like that.
It's true.
Ever.
Yeah. Therefore, Saka's better. Thing is, like you said earlier, right, where he can try this, Vinny can try all these different tricks, and then if it don't come off, it don't matter, he's Vinny. But why has he got that? It don't matter, it's Vinny. Like,
he's earned it, right? It's not. You don't just get that.
You don't get it, but he's
You've
still
earned
young.
it.
He's not done it for years and years and years. Is it just the fact he's proved himself for a couple of years at Real Madrid?
I think he's proven himself
It's the club,
in that
innit?
club,
Yeah.
in that team, for that manager for about 3 seasons now. So he's earned the right. Mbappe's come and Vinny's still the guy to an extent.
Yeah.
Maybe that's transitioning now as Mbappe's picking up form, but he's the guy, isn't it? So he's earned that right. And Ancelotti's not like Arteta. You can tell Ancelotti really lets people lets them play their game. He's not, whereas Arteta's basically coaching every pass, every shot, every action. So
he's more control. It seems like he's more controlling anyway.
Yeah. So it just depends what you prefer. Like,
did you see the thing with Ancelotti telling Bellingham something, and Bellingham was like, "No."
Yeah, I'd love to know what that was, but I saw it. He obviously did.
I can't imagine that went down well, man. If any manager I've played under, if I was to do that, and
did he say nah? It just looked to me like he wasn't hearing. Like he just didn't like what he said.
was
basically.
like, and then he just shook his head.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah. He must have done it, but it was kind of like this is terrible advice. Whatever he said it was.
It's interesting.
It is, but like
because that's not happening at Arsenal.
No, but it's completely different. We don't have a Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, but is that because when you say we don't have one, do you mean we just don't have someone who's like that much of a star? Like, star worldwide.
Yeah, so Real Madrid are full of those stars, right? Like, so you need a manager like Ancelotti that is very just kind of.
But then players at Arsenal would be that if they were at a club like Real Madrid, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not. I don't think he's got a different. If Saka was there, he'd be the same.
We probably have maybe one. As in, just
what I'm saying is, if Bellingham would come to Arsenal, I don't think he'd be as much like that.
I think if Bellingham came to Arsenal and a manager tried to dim down his superstardom, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You need to allow some of these players. You can't tell Bellingham, you can't tell Mbappe, you can't tell Vinny. You can't try and tell them to just like they're too big. Their egos are too big, and it comes from how good they are at football. And Real Madrid assemble teams of Galacticos, and Ancelotti's probably the best at getting the best out of these guys because he's chilled enough that they get to be their superstars, but they also respect him because of who he is.
Yeah, because of what he's done. Yeah,
because of what he's done. That's important.
Yeah,
because another manager would come, let's say a younger manager or whatever,
like an Arteta. When he
let's say he tried to be chill with them,
they'd walk all over him.
Exactly. Yeah. And then if he tried to be too harsh on them, it's kind of like
I've got more power than you.
So
it's almost like Mbappe at PSG, isn't it?
It's very exactly, and that doesn't work. The only reason their dynamic has worked is because it works perfectly with Ancelotti. So at Arsenal, no one would do that to Arteta, but I don't think anyone. Put it this way, if Saka,
exactly, they leave. Ozil or Aubameyang, they leave.
I don't think that's Saka's personality, but if Saka did do that to Arteta, I don't think anything will happen to him. I think he's probably the only player that could.
Really?
What, you're going to. I think like
I don't
you
know,
can't.
man.
What?
No, but
he sanctions Saka for like 3 games. Says you
No,
ain't
but
playing.
if he's like, if
the
it's
fans will uproar. Like Saka's
yeah, but
probably
if it's
the only
a
protected
repeat
player.
event where Saka's like, "What, you're telling me to do this? I'm not going to do like what." It's shit. I'm not going to do that. If that happens over like 2-3 months, it's the same with Aubameyang. I know it's different scale, but
also I don't think Bellingham's doing that all the time.
No, he's not.
If you start doing it all the time, then yes, you're taking the piss. Like at the end of the day, the manager's got the authority. I think that would have been a one-off scenario where Bellingham really just didn't see eye to eye with what he said, and that happens.
Yeah.
Usually a player would just not show it publicly and sort of have the conversation, but I don't think Saka
read
gets
too
in
much
trouble.
into it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Saka gets in trouble if he does that. Anyone else though? Yeah.
Yeah. Kiwior.
Never
Kiwior's
played
out.
again. Yeah, never played again.
Yeah. Okay. So we went Vinny left wing.
Yeah.
So we got striker.
It's got to be
Marino.
It's got to be Mbappe, innit? I mean, look, Marino's doing way more than anyone's expected of him. Like, to the point where you'd have a conversation between him and Havertz.
Yeah.
this
Really?
season. His return has been better per game.
Yeah. It's mad. It's mad.
Put it this way. Havertz...
No, wait. Let me put this to you.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just, you can carry on after.
Yeah, no.
But let's say Havertz is back fit now.
Yes.
And Marino's how he is now.
Yes.
Who you who you starting against our next game, Madrid, let's say? If it was out of them two. I think you're going to say Marino.
It's tough. It's tough because, okay, strikers are judged on goals, but there's so much more to being a striker than scoring goals. Havertz gives centre halves a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
Like, he does run the channels, even if he's not blistering quick. He does stretch teams. He does sort of get hold of it. His link-up play is really good.
He's probably more of a nuisance when they've got their defence has the ball.
Yes, and even though he's not a natural striker, he's far more of a centre forward than Marino is. Marino doesn't play as a centre forward. He really drops in. But who'd you back to score your half chances? Marino's been clinical since he's been there.
He has, man.
He hasn't missed anything that you're like, and bearing in mind, if he did,
Like, you've let us down there.
but then you sort of have to allow him because he's not a striker, but he hasn't even done that. Every time he's had like any sniff of goal, it's just been back of the net. Like, Havertz ain't scoring Havertz ain't scoring that goal that he scored, by the way, that third goal.
The only thing I'd say is Havertz probably seemed to just from like
Get more
visual seems to get in the positions more
because he's more of a striker. He knows,
so he's got more opportunity to miss.
Yes, that is very true.
But it don't change the fact that.
But every time Marino's had
ratio.
something, it's just back of the net, man. Some of the finishes like that. I remember the one against Leicester, was it, when the first game.
So who are you picking?
I think you'd have a great option where I'd probably start Havertz, fully fit Havertz, 100%. But like, it's no longer, because he was playing 110 minutes every game. Like, he was just playing.
It's no,
Now I could take him off at 60 and chuck Marino on if we need a goal, because, you know, Marino is a nuisance in the box and can finish.
Yeah, it's mad. Okay, so we go with...
But it's obviously Mbappe.
Yeah, we're picking Mbappe. Let's just finish off with... Actually, we'll do our manager after. But with Mbappe, he didn't start the best at Real Madrid. He didn't start the best, but what do you make of him as a player in terms of... Do you think he's best as a striker or a left winger? Or do you think he's that Henry where he floats between the two?
I think that's him because he's found his form now. He's scored 33 goals this season.
But
I think...
Where would he start then at the starting lineup? Do you know what I mean? Because you can't have him for Real Madrid.
For Real Madrid, because of where Vinny is, it just depends who you have, right? Like, this is just absolute rumours, but I'm hearing that if Vinny goes, Real Madrid would go for Haaland.
And then move.
Well, then Mbappe would just go on the left.
Would that work? Haaland and Mbappe?
You'd be scared of that.
You'd be scared, but I don't know if it would work, man.
I mean, it's two big egos, so you don't know. You actually don't know, because Haaland's a goal machine. He'll want to be the top scorer. But Mbappe will also want to be the star guy. So that's a different question. But just to answer your point, it kind of depends. Players like Mbappe, because of their attributes, it's almost like, who else do you have?
Yeah.
You look at, like, if you've got a Vinny, who also is a world-class left winger, then it's like, okay, stick him in the middle. If you had a Haaland, then you could stick him on the left, then his output would be really good. I think he's most dangerous drifting in from the left, no doubt. But as a centre forward, if you can get him facing the goal, or if you can get him running in behind centre halves, he's just as dangerous.
He's so quick. Oh my god! I'm not. I was shocked against Arsenal how rapid he is.
Yeah, he's a joke. It's mad quick, and his first 5-10 yards as well. It's like,
you know, on FIFA where you put everyone's stats up to 99 and they just that's him.
Yeah,
like,
no, 100. So that's where you kind of think if he learns the centre forward role, it'd be a problem because he'd actually be sort of in on goal.
Yeah.
Running at centre backs.
Where do you think he ranks against like recent history strikers?
Like, he's right up there.
Yeah,
he's right up there. Like when people are still playing,
like Omri, R9, Ibra, Eto'o, people like that.
I mean, he's got a way to catch an R9 because I'd put R9 as the top of that. So I wouldn't go there yet. I think he can chat to Henry.
What now?
Yeah.
Really? He can.
Yeah, he can be in the conversation.
I think in terms of like what he's done, he can. But in terms of like how, like Omri I think Omri would terrorise teams in a visually better way. Don't you think? Like he terrorised the Prem for like I know Mbappe's terrorised a league for a season or two, or however long, but it's not been in the same way as Omri, if that makes sense.
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
You have to give it time, but not
how
yet.
How old is he? Like 25?
26.
26.
Yeah, he's got years to go.
He's got a few years, yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but
he's in conversation.
I think he will have
like
by the end of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's okay for France. He's like a couple of goals off.
Omri.
Yeah,
and he's won World Cup.
Yes.
Scored a hat trick in the final.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
it's mad.
he's in the combo.
Yeah.
He's in the combo.
So what does he have to do to get to R9? Just repeat what he's done for.
I think he has to go to the next level now where he's world class.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Probably the best player in the world, or definitely in that combo.
Yeah.
He's got to become the stand-up best player in the world. Because R9 would have been that in his time, basically. He's got to kind of become head and shoulders above everyone. It's like
there's got to be a point where we say who's the best and we just go Mbappe.
Yes, and right now it's not that because at PSG, obviously he done everything in the league, but that didn't hold that much weight. It's what he done for France that's kind of meant that, okay, despite PSG, we can kind of say, no, he's done it for France.
Yeah.
Madrid won the Champions League last year. If you come this year and go out, don't do much, and then don't win the league because it looks like Barcelona will win the league, you're not cementing yourself as the best player in the world because people will say your team haven't won anything. He has to like carry them to the league, carry them to the Champions League, and then you have to really start.
It's a tough ask, isn't it? Like,
it's
if
a
you
big
want to
ask.
be the best in the world, yeah.
It's a tough ask because you can all see his ability, but to go to that next level, he has to start being like, And look, the reason Cristiano gets compared to R9, and there's a discussion about that, is because in a game like tonight, he'd win the game on his own.
Yeah.
Like he'd just score a hat-trick.
Yeah, like 50% of them games he probably wins.
He's done it
himself.
so many times for Real Madrid. So if that's what kind of the levels you need from Mbappe now, you need him to go and
you
turn
don't
this
feel
round.
that confident that he can just do that on his own.
I wouldn't rule it out.
He's more of a drifter.
I wouldn't rule it out just because I'm remembering the World Cup final, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah. I'm just thinking off the last few games I've seen him play.
Off the last few games,
no, I wouldn't
rule it out. You can't rule it out, but
we'll see.
Let's say he did that.
By the time this comes out,
let's say he did that, then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
You have to start comparing him to that. So,
right, we'll go with last one, just manager.
I mean, it's got to be Ancelotti, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing is, off this season. Actually, you probably still got Ancelotti
because we've done we've done one game. It's only that Champions League semi.
I mean, if you're comparing them, we've played each other and we beat them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only game that actually gives Arteta a shout. Otherwise, the rest of it is still the same.
I'm trying to just force it. It's got to be Ancelotti, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as good as we both rate Arteta mad highly, but there's levels in it.
Ancelotti. Okay, right. Last thing, just might as well give a prediction, even though the result would have happened probably by the time this is out. I'm going to go in the match, a 2-1 Madrid, but we go through. Obviously, what's that? 4-2 on aggregate.
I'm going
Arsenal.
3-2 Madrid.
3-2. All right, so big goals.
Because I think Madrid will have all them, like, they've been bigging up this mad comeback for a whole week. Like, they're going to try, but I just think we'll score as well. And the more we score, the more they'll have to score. I see it being a game that's
very open.
Yeah. But again, this is my Arsenal side hoping that what I'm saying is true. I don't see them pushing it to the point where it's like we're in danger.
Yeah, unless they get a goal first 5.
then we're in big trouble.
Yeah, because
Big
it's like,
trouble.
do we keep going for it? Because they've already scored.
You're in big
Or do
trouble.
we sit down?
As much
Sit
as
back,
they're saying we need to go and sort of play our game and stuff, we cannot concede. If you get to halftime without conceding, you'd be fine.
Pretty much done, isn't it?
You'd be fine.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, and we'll leave it there. And
Cool.
we'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m.